Hey guys, welcome back to Sarcastic Recaps, where today I'm about to dissect the mind-bending roller coaster called Edge of Tomorrow from 2014. Our journey kicks off with an alien invasion with a news anchor giving us the lowdown on a full-blown alien invasion, while our allied human army in shiny suits miraculously turns the tables. The badass Rita Vertasky, our Special Forces superstar, earning her hero badge for taking down swarms of those nasty alien buggers, aka mimics. And the charming Major William Cage, a real smooth talker, tries to spin his way into some PR magic. Time to meet our not-so-lucky hero Cage. He's rudely awakened on a chopper ride to London. His assumption? He's here to give General Bradham's public image a little makeover. But hold on to your seats, because the General's got a different script for him. Cage is now starring in the first wave of Allied troops movie, landing in France with a special media coverage feature. Cage's attempt to manipulate the situation with media tactics falls flat, leading to himself facing a sudden downgrade from officer to private by the infamous General Bradham. From there, he wakes up in a transformed Heathrow airport, facing military life's harsh reality. Sergeant Farrell takes the reins, revealing Cage's stripped-off officer title, a roller coaster of events that leaves Cage reeling. Cage finds himself in the company of the colorful characters of J Squad, Ford, Griff, Kimmel, Skinner, and Nance. The scene unfolds with the squad caught in a gambling moment, and Farrell takes the opportunity to have them munch on their playing cards, followed by a stern order to prep Cage for the upcoming mission. On the fateful invasion day, Cage is a bundle of nerves. He's clumsily suited up, and the J Squad seems less than enthusiastic to guide him, presuming his swift demise. As they board the aircraft, Cage becomes the center of their playful jabs, fueling his anxiety. But just as the airship approaches the French coast, an unexpected explosion at the rear triggers a premature descent for the squad. The big operation to kick the mimics out of Europe? Well, surprise, those mimics were ready for the grand show. They turn the beach into a massacre fest, and even our heroic Rita bites the dust in record time. The J Squad? Yeah, they're toast too. Our buddy Cage, in the midst of his I'm about to die dance, tries to go out with a bang by hugging a claymore. But wait, there's a twist. A ginormous blue mimic swoops in for a group hug, and boom, Cage and the alien paint the town red. Or, well, blue. Cage finds himself back on the duffel bags, wide-eyed and oh so confused. Oh look, it's our favorite sergeant back with the Maggot melody, sending him back into the J Squad circus. But wait, there's more. He dies again and again and again, like some messed up time loop disco. With every round, he gets a tad better at playing hero and saving his J Squad buddies, plus Rita, our alien-busting champion. In one loop, Cage manages to keep his heart ticking long enough to whisk Rita away from the mimic-munching ship, just before it explodes like a 4th of July fireworks gone wild. Rita must have sensed his desperate vibe, because she's all like, hey, find me before we both get wiped out again. This time, Cage teams up with Sergeant Farrell and the J Squad, faking teamwork to buy his ticket to Rita finding glory. After some epic fail escapes, Cage finally manages to escape and tracks down Rita in a training arena. Rita starts off issy, but Cage spills the beans about his endless loop situation, and she thaws. They head to a weapon bay run by her buddy Carter, the mimic expert. Rita reveals she's been in this time loop pickle too at Verdun, thanks to the blue Appla mimic goo that's been given Cage's Groundhog Day with aliens experience. Carter, a former researcher, cooked up a theory. All the mimics are basically neurons in one big alien brain, the Omega. He crafted a nifty device that can pinpoint the Omega when jammed into an alpha mimic. Rita, however, brings Cage back to reality. Their first challenge is just surviving the next day invasion. She takes Cage under her wing, but it's a crash course. If he's hurt, she kills him so he wakes up anew on those duffel bags. In one loop, a battered Cage gets a tip. Dying properly without any surprise comebacks breaks the loop. Rita knows this firsthand, having gone through it after a blood transfusion reset her loop. Out of nowhere, Cage's death now comes with bonus visions, the Omega's secret spot in a German dam. Maybe it's all that alpha blood he's got going on. With their impeccable survival record, Cage and Rita level up in combat skills. But who needs emotional stability when you can just watch your new crush die on repeat? In the next loop, Cage's grand escape plan involves hitting the local bar, because who hasn't tried that when stuck in a time loop, right? But alas, the mimics have other plans and off him again, just for kicks. After multiple failed attempts, Cage and Rita level up to helicopter in a farmhouse mode. But Cage's persuasive skills can't quite convince Rita to set up camp in rural bliss. Cage spills the time-looping beans about the farmhouse reruns to Rita, but it's like they're trapped in a not-so-romantic Groundhog Day. In a bold move to prevent Rita's repetitive demise, he considers going solo. When Rita questions his sudden concern for her well-being, Cage's eloquence falls short, leaving him tongue-tied. Rita, on the other hand, has her suspicions about Cage's newfound attachment, but romance takes a backseat to alien-fighting duties. Rita pulls a shocking move by orchestrating their demise, leaving Cage scratching his head in the next loop. Tired of being Rita's personal time-traveling savior, Cage skips the teamwork and heads to a German dam solo, only to find a lackluster Omega-sized void. An Alpha crashes the party, aiming to rob Cage of his precious reset button, but Cage takes a spontaneous dip in a watery grave. After some loop-de-loops, Cage, Rita, and Carter join the dots like a futuristic detective trio. Turns out the mimics are master manipulators. Turns out the victory at Verdun was just a big old trap courtesy of the Omega Overlord aiming to play some mind games with the humans and lead them straight into the ambush zone. They're down to the wire, and Carter's invention, the one that got him the boot, is their last hope. Of course there's a catch, but at least they've got a game plan now. Time for a wild equipment hunt. Rita and Cage set their sights on grabbing missing parts under General Bram's nose. After a roller coaster of attempts and plenty of suspense, our dynamic duo sneaks into the Ministry of Defense. Cage sweet-talks the general into handing over Carter's prototype device. With a gutsy move, Cage stabs it right into his own leg. Cage zeroes in on the Omega's lair beneath the Louvre Pyramid in Paris. An action-packed escape plan hits a hiccup when their car stunt goes awry, knocking Rita out cold before she's able to kill Cage. Fast forward to Cage awakening in a hospital. No more time loops due to that tricky blood transfusion. He has lost the ability to loop time forever. Rita frees them, but with no more loops yet, with the invasion clock ticking, their race against time is more intense than ever. Cage decides to throw a party at the base, with the J Squad as his guests of honor. Get ready for a dramatic showdown as they team up to give the Omega a run for its money before the invasion extravaganza. The Louvre becomes the stage for a mimic fireworks show, complete with airship chaos. Race yourselves for the kicker. The J Squad, in a fit of generosity, sacrifices themselves like real MVPs, buying Cage and Rita a front-row ticket to the pandemonium inside the museum. And here comes the grand finale. Rita's got her spotlight ready. She's going to have a heart-to-heart with an alpha mimic, leaving Cage to play demolition expert with an underwater Omega. But wait, there's more. Just before the action, Rita graces Cage with a sweet kiss, showing her gratitude for his exceptional tour-guiding skills through all those deadly loops. But fear not, our fearless hero Cage plunges into action, and even with a stabbing souvenir from the Alpha, he doesn't drop the ball. Cage pulls a grenade belt trick out of his sleeve and sends it on a one-way trip to the Omega. Boom! The Omega and its mimic buddies meet their explosive end. Cage's grand finale involves a splash of Omega bloods. Suddenly, our man wakes up like he just hit the snooze button on reality itself, finding himself on the same old helicopter ride. But with a twist, it's an alternative history. Forget Deja Vu, he's in a timeline where the news is all about those sneaky mimics meeting their explosive end. Time for humanity to strut its stuff across Europe once again. In this alternate timeline, our J-Squad buddies are back and kicking, and Cage finally manages to track down Rita again. Later he finds her and she gives him the same treatment, but he smiles. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more recaps like this. Ring the notification bell and drop a thumbs up to keep the channel soaring.